again, and welcome to another episode of the Best Review Spot Live. For those of you who have been following us, you should know this already, but just for those who are first tuning in, I'm Keegan Pose, and this is my fellow blogger, Masked Builder, and today we're going to be talking about our favorite movie of 2012, The Hobbit, An Unexpected Journey. So, first thing that sets us apart between The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit would be the use of 3D.
Yeah, well, when the movies first came out, the Lord of the Rings first came out 10 years ago, 3D was not something that would happen very often, if at all. So the 3D, they shot this in 3D, and it was, I believe it's the first live-action movie that's actually been shot in 3D. And it's way better. It's really good to see all the action shots. They're really good seeing them in 3D. It really works in this movie.
It works also with the landscape shots because they used a lot more aerials. They even said this in one of the production blogs, that they used a lot more helicopter shots and stuff for this movie. And the 3D isn't overused, but it's used just enough to give it that extra depth and dimension that you would look for. As for how this movie relates to the book that it's based off, I'd say it's independent. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, it's definitely independent. If you come and having not read the book, come and just see the movie, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
I think it's actually maybe better because some people are comparing it to the book and saying it's not as good, but we'll get there.
Yeah, we'll get there. Basically what we mean when we say is it independent is can you understand it without having read the book, for those of you who haven't figured this out. And it also enhances the book, I think, because of the appendices use. Because I've read the appendices. You've read the appendices.
I read them this year, yeah.
And not all people get to read those necessarily. They might be bored by them or whatever. But seeing it is so different. It's just like, hey, I remember that. But and in addition, the resemblance to the book, there's definitely been things that were inserted besides the appendices. Additional characters such as Galadriel, Elrond's in the book, but Galadriel, Saruman.
They were part of the White Council in the appendices.
Yes, the White Council.
So.
And
they added Radagast. He was mentioned in passing, but he gets a really big role here, and it's played very nicely. And that's also part of the appendices story that's being introduced in the movie.
And whereas they changed a few things from the book, not much. Very little was changed. It's very close to the book for those of you who are concerned about that. I don't think they really deleted anything from the book.
From what we're seeing so far, I don't think we're going to actually see any conference with the Eagle Prince or King. I'm not sure who it was. I haven't read The Hobbit in a while. But we'll find out with the next movie, so it'll be a while till we know about that.
One thing that they did change was with his contract, Bilbo's contract, and they changed Thorin a little bit, apparently. I don't really remember what he was like in the book, but I think he's played a lot better in the movie. And I think an extended edition is possible, but I'm not sure it's likely because it just doesn't seem like they have that much extra that they could add.
I think he can probably come up with another hour.
Yeah, he can probably figure out something.
We'll see if it actually adds anything to it.
As for the movie itself, it's not too long. Some people might have been complaining that it's too long.
No, I'm all for longer movies. Longer movies are very good.
It's the shortest of the Lord of the Rings movies, to be sure, but it's not too short and it's not too long. And another good thing about this is it's actually a very clean movie in the sense that there's no language, there's nothing other than some violence, which it's basically the same as Lord of the Rings violence, which isn't necessarily a good thing, but it's not too bad. And then, of course, the scary images for younger viewers.
Yeah, the wargs have definitely been redesigned and given a more wolf-like appearance, and they're definitely a little scarier in this movie.
Yes. And, of course, with The Hobbit, there's definitely a different tone between The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings. More humorous and more fun tone, actually. But they don't overplay the humor.
No,
Still
they don't.
serious when it needs to be, which would be during the intense scenes and the epic battles.
It's like, you get a band of 13 dwarves, and Gimli was definitely the humor in the original movies. So, you get some humor with all the dwarves in it.
Yes.
But not too much.
No, not too much.
Definitely not.
But some very good actually repeatable jokes. That's what I like, too.
Yeah.
You can tell the jokes. And Gollum. Andy Serkis' Gollum is one of the highlights.
Yeah.
Definitely.
He also directed the second unit, so it's cool to
Unit.
see some of his work. And the Gollum scene is the longest unbroken cut in the whole movie. Is the riddles in the dark scene. It's really good to see that scene.
Yes, very good. And it's very close to the book. Very close. And then for our final thoughts, we'd like to compare. There's this big hype about the high frame rate 3D compared to regular 3D. We can't comment on that yet, but we're hoping to see that in January.
From the clips I've seen online, it looks a lot better. I'm personally very into the high frame rate. We'll see how it pans out though.
Yes, and if we do get a chance to do that, we will write up a review. It'll show up in the TBRS News section of the blog, and it'll just be comparing standard 3D with high frame rate 3D for those of you that are interested. And now for the final part, our rating. What do you give?
Yeah, I have no problems with this movie. I'm very happy with what Peter did, so I give it a 5 out of 5.
5 out of 5 from me. You heard it here. If you haven't seen it yet, go out and see it. And if you have seen it and you liked it, go see it again.
Why are you doing it?
And we'll see you next time for another episode of the Best Review Spot Live. Thanks for watching.
Why are you doing it?